All right. Morning to DigiDevin. Thanks for putting the link in there. How's it going? I have got my coffee. We're going warm today because it's actually a little cold. Oh, what it actually got down to overnight. Get that in the morning. Oh well. Pretty cold though. Let's see. So, quick hellos for anybody that might be new. My name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy. We are working on CircuitPython stuff. If you are catching this in the future, you don't know what that is, you can learn more at the main website of the project here, circuitpython.org. Basically, this is an implementation of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers. A bunch of them pictured over here on the downloads page. These devices plug into your computer, they show up like a thumb drive, and then you can edit some Python code on there, save it, and the microcontroller will interpret and execute the Python code for you. Your code can interact with various hardware peripherals that are connected electronically. Some devices have stuff connected built in, like this one has got a bunch of keys and a knob and a screen. This one has got a connector for an LED matrix. This one has got a bunch of neopixels and a bunch of sensors, and 2 buttons and a speaker and a switch, and Bluetooth and a bunch of alligator connectable clips. So these different microcontrollers come in all different shapes and sizes. The thing that ties the 388 devices here together is the fact that they all support CircuitPython. CircuitPython is an open source project. It is primarily funded by this company, Adafruit. This is their website, adafruit.com. They are a hardware and software company based out of New York. They design and manufacture not only microcontrollers, but also things that you can hook up to microcontrollers to do stuff with, either sensors, various connectors, lights, buttons, beepers, buzzers, knobs, switches, pretty much every kind of little electronical doodad that you can imagine. They probably will have a way on their site that you can purchase in order for hooking it up to a microcontroller and then interacting either through CircuitPython code or regular Python code, or if you would like Arduino or something else. So thank you to them. Thank you to everybody who purchases hardware from them. Head over to adafruit.com if you want to get yourself some toys to play with that deal with this sort of stuff. How's it going to see Grover? Good morning. Synthesizers, yep. I am picking up on some web stuff this morning. I am getting back around to the Ethernet testing, which has been waiting on me for a couple of days at this point, a couple of weeks maybe even. And after that, we'll get into some other web stuff depending on how the time goes. I may get back around into the Raspberry Pi IoT server, which is also loosely related to web. But we'll see how it goes. We're going to start off with this, which is testing this PR for Ethernet. Basically, this is a PR that refactors some logic inside of the WizNet 5K, which is the Ethernet library. This PR refactors basically this library, the state machine logic inside this library. And so we are testing it to make sure that it still works after the fact. There have been a couple issues. I have done testing a few prior rounds, but there have been some new changes since the last time that I did test. So we are swinging back around to try it out again. I don't have any of the cameras set up yet. Let's turn this one on. Should file that in the CP repo maybe with the library. Oh, let's see. Loosely pinged you. I saw this, yeah. I did not reply back to the ping. I did see this the other day, though. Now that you mention it, I remember this coming up. The jQuery thing missing in RTD. Missing in RTD the same way that CircuitPython did, except in newly created read the docs. I thought it would apply the same fix for CircuitPython to cookie cutter, but it's not a cookie cutter issue. It's something to be fixed in the existing repos. There's an issue with Sphinx versions where Kattni... Yeah... I think the last thing you say there is probably true. Unfortunately, I think there's kind of a lot of stuff with read the docs. The more I discover about read the docs, the more things where it seems like there's... and I think the crux of it is they have a cutoff point. There's a date and time where projects from before that behave a certain way, and projects from after that behave a certain way. I don't recall the exact specifics of what they do versus what they don't do or whatever. It's like different versions of things, different default versions. But I think there are more things tied to that crux, basically. I think there are more things than we know that are tied to that. Some libraries from before this moment behave that way, and some libraries from after this moment behave the other way. So my guess is maybe like old ones have the problem and new ones do not. Is kind of my best guess with the jQuery thing. I don't even really understand the jQuery thing, to be honest with you. It got removed from something, but like we had a copy of it in our repo inside the static folder, so I don't understand exactly where jQuery was coming from when it was working and how it got removed from there, but didn't start using the one that's in our repo. So I found the fix that did work for the jQuery thing was updating something inside of requirements. I think adding like something. I don't remember exactly what it was, adding something. But the truth is I never actually really truly understood why it became a problem beyond the fact that like somebody changed what was included somewhere. I can reconcile that bit of it, but I don't know exactly where or why it affected us in that way and why it never did use like the one that we had. Old read the doc examples. Was that this? So this is like a thing that basically breaks the docs pages. When you are affected by this thing that we're talking about here, this won't work. This little pop-up thing here won't work because the JavaScript on the page crashes because it's expecting jQuery to exist, but it doesn't. I mean, it exists, but it's not loaded on the page. Are there libraries affected by it? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, see, this one doesn't go anywhere. So in here it's gonna say like tried to load jQuery but failed. Basically. It'll be a little more wordy than that. jQuery not defined. So yeah, we probably have to patch the libraries to add the same thing that I added in the core. And then it will work after that, after the next release or whenever they update. All the libraries except new ones. Yeah, that's my guess, is it's probably tied to that date. All the ones from before that date, which are, I think, like the majority of ours, but all the ones after, like, I'm pretty sure Monster Mask, maybe, that's a newer one. This one might not be broken. Nope, that's broken too, actually. So maybe just all of them. jQuery not defined, yeah. But we don't need it in the cookie cutter? Is that what you're saying? Except new ones. Interesting. I would assume we would need it in the cookie cutter. Okay. Yep. Maybe that'll be a test for next week on Monday. Try to patch the libraries with that stuff. Made a new library this week and it doesn't have the issue. Interesting. I made a library, but I don't think I made a read the docs. I think I made a read a docs setup for it. I don't remember exactly. Okay, so we're testing this out. I need to, where was I? Let's see, the camera is here, but not on. I would say, yeah, to your point, I think the core repo initio is probably good for that to track. I know it's like a library thing, but like it's the most centralized place since it's really a library thing on like all the libraries, or the majority of them, if not all of them. And whatever fix we're gonna do, I assume we will try to do it across the board. Hopefully we can, hopefully even if the library does not suffer from the same problem, we can still apply the same solution and not cause other problems. So that way we can do everything the same across the board. In spite of the weird cutoff date for read the docs. If I recall correctly, I had trouble with the Feather RP2040 the last time that we did Ethernet stuff, so I am just going to switch right over to the Feather S2 TFT. Two, 3 years old. Yeah, but I think I don't know the exact date. I know that it's newer because I made it the library for it at least, because it didn't launch when the hardware launched. It was either the next year or the year after that. Sphinx Steam version. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, good memory. I did not recall if I did work on that on the stream or not. Let's see here. Crashed twice on this one. Okay. Oops. Charm. Hey, thanks for the follow, Dota 2 Attitude over on Twitch. Appreciate the follow, my friend. It's not something I stream about, but I'm more on the LOL side than Dota myself. Should give Dota a try, though. Yeah, not a lot. Just working on some CircuitPython for the morning. Not memory, just YouTube search on your channel, fair enough. Which I can do on desktop, but not mobile for YouTube. Weird. Yeah, YouTube mobile I find to be a bit awkward sometimes for a lot of stuff, truthfully. Trying to set up TCR in a side project. TCR. Hilarity will ensue doing it. What's TCR? I'm not familiar with that one. TCR? Is that a, let's see if we get anything on that. Broad cell respector? Probably not it. TCR, is that a programming thing, I assume? Let's commit revert. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Punch cards, gotta love it. Okay, probably focus up a bit more. Impact programming, gotcha. So we need to get the latest version of this repo. I don't know, did I do this on this computer before? Oh wow, that's very much the root of everything. Let's just this first. New window. Now we can go open and we'll be in a better place. We don't have, yeah, no, we don't have WizNet here yet. So we'll just clone that. Channel search is extremely helpful. Search in general. Repos, we're gonna go to there. We're gonna go get clone. We're gonna go ahead and go inside of there. I don't know. We might as well just open it in here. I only get a terminal anyway, but. We could do this window. No. Still kicking the can down the road on my environment problem. I don't really view it as a problem. But I am still kicking the can down the road on it. We'll want a couple of these. Definitely simple test. Probably simple server test. Maybe WSPI or AIO post. I don't remember. We've done testing with a few of them. We'll try to run all the ones that work with the hardware I've got and don't require like signing up for extra accounts or anything. We do need to plug in the microcontroller. 92519 AdaBox for the monster mask. Yeah, the library did come later on though. The library was not created at the same time as it released. There was a bunch of Arduino code for the eyes and all the cool stuff. The thing is with the CircuitPython, it's you cannot update the screens very fast. So you can't do the cool looking like monster eyes and eye effects like the Arduino code has. I mean, you can do it, but it doesn't animate as smoothly. I should say you could do it because the actual code doesn't exist. I don't think you'd have to do a fair amount of work to get to a state where you'd be able to do it. I think it's possible, but it will not look as smooth when it runs. What do we have? Timestamper. I do have a copy of that already. I need to get a new feather to be testing this with. We actually have WizNet simple test, which is kind of convenient because I think ours is tweaked slightly from the stock example because of this, which we should still go back in PR. I think I've said that every time I've worked on it. It's got debug true. We'll spit out a lot of stuff. I think I want to do debug false at least at first because I want fewer printouts so that we can tell more easily if it's succeeding across the reboots. All that. So it is plugged in already. Well, it's plugged in on this side. I don't know. Is it actually plugged in on the router side? Maybe not. Guess we'll find out. Over 2020 with the Sphinx issue. Not as old as I thought. Gotcha. Socket. That cable disconnected. Okay, yeah, I think maybe we don't actually have it plugged in. Can I see the lights through the camera? Randomly have this extra browser? Not actually, really. They're kind of in a... There. Doesn't look like we got any blink action. Okay. Need to go plug the other end in, probably. Okay, we're gonna try this. I don't know if this is gonna work. I got it plugged into a different switch than normal. Okay, not normal, than I have used the last couple of times, I should say. I think I have done some testing on this switch before, but most recently I was skipping it and going back to the next one in line, rather. I don't remember which is which. We have, looks like solid green and no orange. Also, I should start with a known quantity on the library. There's no telling what version of the library is on this device. Eventually timeout with no DHCP. Okay. So let's take the currently released version, which we will get from main branch. Do I never get the separator? Oh, it was working, I guess. Okay, try this. Am I still solid green with no... That's probably not going to be working. But restarted. Started again. Am I hitting the restart button? It is on the microcontroller. I guess, I suppose there is on all three devices. Maybe I did hit it, I don't know. Actually three. Reset there, and then a reset over here as well. These two look copy-pasted, maybe. Delta configure. So we did get that sometimes. I did have notoriously tricky time testing this. One thing is we did run into that sometimes, and I was able to just power cycle, and it helped it out. How's it going, Johnny? Spring's finally here. Even saw some girls sunbathing in the courtyard. There you go. Yeah, spring is here. The way I know spring is here is because I need to mow. Fortunately. Luckily, we're not to the point where it's like uncomfortably hot enough that mowing is like much worse. Failed to configure. Okay, I think that it does not seem like it wants to be working through this other router, so I'm gonna go switch it to the one we have been testing before. Okay, are we still here? Yes, I did not unplug the wrong Ethernet cable, which is a good sign. We have a large lake here. The wind has been coming from that until today. Temperature raised 10 degrees immediately. Jeez. Need to mow, but still too wet. Been raining here a lot. Yeah, definitely mowing in the wet is no fun. Yeah. That definitely sucks. Also, it will like paint your shoes green pretty much. Do we have anything different here? I have solid green, some blinking on the orange though, which seems ideal to have both lights doing something. Both sending and receiving data are pretty helpful, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what those lights are. I don't know which is which. We did make it successfully through simple test all the way here. Okay. I If I recall correctly, with the currently released library, I can do this a few times. It does eventually fail, and I can usually bring it back with the powered cycle to get it running again. So there's our current state. So we need to check out the PR state. Oh, let me things. Check out 95 5T. We'll copy this and we'll go back to the device and we'll delete this. And we'll make sure that it's gone by looking for this error. Okay. Paste this. Maybe should have gone to REPL. Sometimes I wonder if it's like better to go to REPL when you're going to paste something, especially a folder with a bunch of stuff, so that it doesn't restart as many times. Essentially failed to initialize. I don't recall seeing that one before. Might be a new error. Failed to initialize. Do another try here and then I'll power cycle. Rough. Run. Not looking so good with this one. 197, it seems like we always fail to initialize. They said they added, what now? They added reset? Got the wrong tree. Okay, so this was, since the last time I tested, this one came. The partial success showed me where the logic was faulted. I pushed a band-aid fix. Once that goes done, I got some other ideas for WizNet. Don't see why there's apparently no reply from the server after a warm boot. Really puzzles me. Please record the exchange in Wireshark if you see the capture filter. But we can do that still if we need to. At this point, I don't think we'll have any traffic though, since we're not getting the module initialized. I assume that will be step one. They did with latest, so they said they did this, which says just the 5x detect and reset a 5500. Call that startup. You know, honestly, this feels very deja vu, doesn't it? Like, didn't we just have this in that temperature sensor where we didn't wait long enough after we reset it and then it caused trouble? Maybe we need to wait. What does MR mean? I don't know what MR is here. If not reset properly. Presumably that's reset command, right? Where's our actual exception come from? So we're getting failed to initialize. Uh, $197 in a init. Oh, init function. It's on for a full week. Too cold to enjoy though. Yeah, we get some days like that where it's like nice and sunny. If you're inside a place looking out a window, it looks nice out. But you step out and it's like 40 degrees. And you're like, this does not feel lied to. Failed to initialize. This is inside of a init. But that change was in not inside of a init, was it? Hey. Pair with branch main. Some more registers. Oh, but there's going to be so many differences. Really, I want the one commit, I guess, huh? I want the one commit. Branch. When are we on? New DHCP. That's the branch I want. Is that not in the list? Did I need to fetch? None of these have the... These have the new commit, do they? It says... Added a reset. Added... Oh, there it is. Okay, and then there was other... Okay, there was other PRs merged, I see. This is, yeah, that's the only diff it's inside detect and reset. Detect and reset, which is itself inside of init. Is a function in a class, I assume. Yeah, class WizNet. So this gets defined inside of this function. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. This is a W. Okay, that's a W100. These both get defined inside of here. This one is what calls them. So it's detecting one or the other and then calling the correct one of these. Or technically, it's calling them both, and that's how it's detecting, I suppose. And this gets called from here, which is inside of a init. Which is, in fact, the line before we now raise this exception. So one thing is I don't actually know if I have a 55 or a 51, nor do I know the difference between them. But everyone should have home weather station and no surprises when you step outside. You live in Canada, you have various levels of freezing and more freezing. Yeah, temperature thing outside would be nice too. Isn't it? What? No, WizNet? It's called Ethernet. $5,500. If that is a reset, I feel we must need a sleep afterwards, right? Is there a data sheet on the... I don't even know how to begin though. Like, so we should be able to find this as a reboot command or something, reset command. only matches that one. Scale socket register. Set timing. Pickup time? I mean, those seem relevant. I don't really know how to read that. Also don't know, in our case, like, we're not I don't think it's using the reset pin. It seems to be writing that 80 or whatever. That's the change that came from the commit called, whatever it was called, adding reset. Return false. Right to the mode register. Mode register. Bit 7. This bit is 1. All internal registers will be initialized. It will be automatically cleared at 0 after software reset. They're sending it 80. Gimbal already has entire weather station example. Did pretty much exactly what I want to do. Nice. How do I convert to binary? Cursive? What? No, there must be a built-in. Trying to write code to do it. Format B. Okay, so we did write a 1 in the reset bit, which must be why the thing reset. So I kind of, sort of, might understand what has happened with that bit of it. This doesn't say anything about how long you would have to wait. But I guess that other section was more script register. If and false. Oh. Got the sensor bug, huh? And it does not print either. It does not seem to successfully realize that it is the 5500. What? There's a software reset that maybe we could call instead. Know if that matters. I don't know. I don't know if it has time imported. Like it does, but it didn't make a difference. Are we even in here? Yeah. But it does not seem to matter. That does not seem helpful. Can we go back one? Does changes for main. I think I also would not have tested at this point. Band-Aid fix. So I think we want to go back to before this one, basically. Guess I'm actually just going to do by commenting these out. Could probably do it somehow with the git thing inside of here, but I don't know where it went. Oh, well, we're in device workspace. So this should basically be the old version, like the version from the PR, but before this commit, without this latest commit. It scares me when the file saves. Got success there. Extra prints going on now as well. Seems like maybe we're gonna fail this time. Found. It said chip version. Got the chip version. Just from here. We probably never got. We probably never returned from this, I'm guessing. Or haven't yet. There are some like retries in there, I think, so maybe debug will be helpful eventually. If we fail the same way again. Debug through at some point, and I'll also power cycle it, since that seemed to be a thing that was happening sometimes. Oh, that one got soft reset for some reason. Oh. PC saved something probably. Does not seem like it's gonna come alive a second time. It's where it's failing here. Thing. Either we're not receiving responses, or for some reason the DHCP is failing to actually let us have an IP. And then this retries sometimes, and eventually I think it will actually fail for good. Let's spam this in between, like when it's trying. I'm not entirely sure why. So we'll eventually collect these logs, and maybe the Wireshark ones as well. I probably don't have Wireshark. Yeah, it did. After 3 tries, no response from server after 3 tries. So like, DHCP server is not responding to its requests for an IP for some reason. We will start with just power cycle though. See if we can get multiple successes in a row, or if it's like always gonna fail on the second try. This is the downside of debug true, is there's a lot of extra prints. It's a lot harder to tell like we are being successful or not right now. It's like yes, though, we're fetching our datas from various sources. Yeah, so that did make it all the way through successfully. So just Control C, Control D. Does this fail this time? Because last time we basically got 1 success and then fail afterwards. And I'm thinking that's what we're getting this time, because this looks more similar to time before we power cycled. It does to the one we just did where it succeeded. We basically have to just wait for the retries. It won't scroll so far. More. Can you redirect TO to a file? TO has log and log file. Nice. So that would help me point it to a file. Yeah, very convenient if it was going to be long for it to scroll back. Actually, it might just be convenient anyway, because sometimes it'd be nice to have your CircuitPython output go into a file. On your computer, not on the device, but... Okay, we'll see if I can do this bit. We install it through here. Sadness. Source code though. Ender package. That mean I can find it in apt? Okay. Oh, okay, that's interesting. We're just gonna go with no. I assume this means I need to run it with sudo, basically, right? Which I kind of think that's how it should work, probably. Probably shouldn't work without sudo. Like, able to capture every network traffic. Probably need sudo for that. Does it launch from here? Does it work if I launch from here? Because I may need to actually do that sudo somehow. Oh boy, okay, I don't remember. Okay, how did we do this? So I'm on the same Ethernet. We need to put the capture though. I wish I would have saved what I did before. So I also don't know if I was on stream. Somehow we can filter this. We need to filter it on the ports. This person tells us, but I don't know if that's the right syntax. Port range. Isn't a copyable thing? Maybe it'll work. I get it. Oh, port? Okay, port. 67. Interfaces. There's like suggestions, but only if you type. Port 80, it just says red, unknown data link type -1. I'm gonna close this and open it with sudo. That's gonna make a difference, but sudo wireshark. Port 80. So now this is green. This is yellow, but this is green. So I think that means that it wasn't working before. So can we put this? Port range. Yes, now this is green. Okay. Ready, set, go. How do we go? Start capturing. That's the wrong picture. It tries a few times. Eventually some other devices will also try, like, these ones have different transaction IDs. I'm guessing that's a different device, probably. Yeah, Android something. Should turn that device off, maybe. Okay, it eventually failed with no response. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I think those 4 are all from our Featherwing. Biznet dead beef. Biznet dead beef. Yeah, all those are. And these 2 are both Android. So how do we grab, like... Oh, now we have 2 more new ones that are also unrelated. Should I stop, first of all? Can I go this, and this, and this, and this? And then, like... right-click, totally undid my selection. How did I export these before? Save this capture file. Or like an export? Maria's text. Done. I don't know what to call these. I'm just gonna say 0. Oh, well, that's not very much. How somehow you can get this whole thing. Okay, yeah, that's what we want. Do we have the summary too? Maybe we should have the summary too. I wish you could get both of those with one action. I guess Wireshark is open source. Maybe I should submit that PR, I guess. Are they on GitHub? I don't know, maybe it wasn't worth putting these in different files. We could have just pasted all these into one file. Should we try to get a successful one? I already did these inconsistently. Underscore. In here. Oh, just playing a really quiet song, I guess. Do I know how to program with JavaScript? How's it going? Mozart plays. I'm not entirely sure how long ago you put that question in the YouTube chat. Sorry, it's been a minute. Do I know how to program with JavaScript? Yeah, I would say that I do know how to program with JavaScript. We are missing a 2. We have 0, 1, 3, 4. Also, I still have done the formatting wrong. I would not call myself like a JavaScript master, certainly. There are lots of people with a much better command of JavaScript than I have. And I would say the level of skill that I do have with JavaScript is very basic. Like, it's not really up to today's standards as far as like frameworks and stuff. I don't have that much experience with React or Vue or Angular or even like NPM and Node JavaScript in general. A lot of that stuff I don't have that much experience with, and I don't have that much interest in messing with too much. JavaScript, like edit HTML on a page, you know, JavaScript like jQuery, make AJAX requests and modify the DOM. I have a lot of experience with that. I try to stick to Python when I can, though, honestly. As a language, I do prefer Python. JavaScript makes me confused sometimes, and wish I was working with something else. Okay, we could clear this, I think. If I just rerun this, will it start a new one? Yeah, okay. So we'll restart that when we're ready. Oh, okay, interesting. We're back to here. That's cool. We want to get a successful one. So I'm going to go to here. The successful one is going to come after we power cycle. YouTube tries to suggest me Android tutorials from 10 years ago sometimes. That's pretty funny. So you know what? Occasionally I'll be like trying to pull up music while I am streaming, and it will suggest me myself, which is especially weird on like Fridays for Deep Dive. It will suggest me myself, not knowing fully, not understanding fully that I'm the one on there. Yeah, if you want some really old Android information, Past Tim has got you hooked up with some good tutorials. I don't know how much of that's still relevant. Probably not too much. We need to get a successful one. We need this to be running while it is, so I guess let's go ahead and start it up. Technically, we'll be connected in there as well. You know, the thing that always was so fascinating to me about those old Android tutorials, and honestly YouTube in general, is the way that it shows you the summation of time. Like, you can go somewhere in your YouTube dashboard and look at how many man hours have been spent watching your videos, which did turn out to be a fascinating number on those old Android ones. A couple of them apparently got up into the search results and had kind of a lot of time invested into watching them, which I found crazy. Okay, that's the wrong device. Speaking of Android. There we go. Okay, so we only have 2 this time, which stands to reason because it was successful, so it didn't retry as many times. So we'll say Wireshark success from cold boot. And we do still have, I guess, 2, so we will go with 0 and 1. Hey, well, what are those? Looks dangerous. Wireshark success. We could probably stop this, I guess. Summary. Thing. Have extra data there at the end. Okay, so I say versions because we technically tested 2. was that error? It was like failed to initialize or something like that. Went back down, didn't I? Can I do a zip? Is it better to do them all separately? Although we only have the DHCP portion of that, I guess. We don't store the rest of the data, but Okay. I will be back in 1 minute. Okay. We are back. We are gonna put these back in front. We could either go to the IoT server, get a few more the web related that I had my eye on. This one we probably want to try to get some more eyes on. I was hoping to get somebody else from the core team to look at, I think. Yeah, basically we're still the last thing I said here, which is it seems fine for me, but it might be like the root cause might be a problem in the core. I don't know if we would want to merge this change here or try to fix it in the core or both. We need to ask about that. This one though we could look at, I think. This has already been checked also by Anecdata. Dan just hasn't had a chance to come back yet again, it looks like. But we can try this out and leave another review. Response already sent. New constructor to use settings toggle. Okay. Oh yeah, these are all examples. Okay, I was gonna say, do the examples change? Yeah, actually, it looks like all the examples were moved over from secrets to environment, which will use settings toml, which I'm pro. That probably a lot of other libraries that could benefit from that. By default, it's looking for static folder. So I'll give it a quick try. Server, give that a quick try, and then I'll try to spend some time on the IoT server. I think that depends how long this takes, though. Let's see where we get. 29. Delete this. Basically just started with BizNet simple test, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, only difference is debug. So we can just erase CircuitPy. I need to keep it. Get an example from here. Let's start with want a simple test or no simple test today? Simple test get changed, or did it never exist? That's kind of weird. Simple serve, simple pull. Okay. Let's go. Require no extra hardware. Try a few of them. Gotta check settings. No, those are not set up. It's not entirely true, I guess. They were set up, but they don't have the right names. They don't have the same names. Okay. No module, HTTP server. Probably it would not hurt to give this a full boot as well, just to like fully clear out anything to do with sockets and Ethernet and whatever, right? In case that left anything in a weird state. Okay, but I was still using the code, so I have to take that part away. No environ. Maybe we should have updated CircuitPython. I don't even know. I don't know what build this would be. Probably should have done that before our testing. Probably like some of my stuff with multiple screens. Seems weird that it would not have environ though. That seems Like it should exist on anything new-ish, and that was certainly new-ish. Didn't see anything get printed, but my guess is that these things probably happened before TO got connected, therefore we did not see them print. Same thing with this, honestly, which means we don't really have a way to know the IP unless it's in the header, which it's not because it says Wi-Fi off. Seems weird, but maybe that means the web workflow Wi-Fi? I don't know. No, same thing as we had before, which also did print something before we got connected. So why can we not read that? Is that not the right way to do that? Get env? I need to be careful with this, don't I? Okay, hold on, we're not gonna do this here. I don't know what it's gonna print. It's gonna print that it failed because it's missing a required positional argument. But not how we... Not how we get that? Get env. Test variable. You have to give it the name. So this would be like this. Is this different than CPython or? Okay. So this should be making a server at /CPU information with some stuff in it. Indeed it is. JSON with the temperature and the frequency. But is that, I mean, is it different on any other devices? It's kind of perplexing though, right? Why did they put that code there? It must not just be like totally random. It does exist in CPython. Maybe we should be using that API. There's this too, though. Okay, so it does exist, at least. So you can use the same API, it's just we don't have the environ one. I don't know where it went. It was highlighted. Not anymore. There it is. It's probably bytes one or something also. Are there devices where that works? Oops, that's my Python REPL, not my connection. Just use a real key. Okay. I would actually have to get updated in each of the examples, but it is probably a quick change. Close Wireshark, because we're not using it. We're going to close this. Now we're going to do some IoT server. I'm going to get out of microcontroller land and get into Linux computer land for a little bit, which is Raspberry Pi project, this one. By IoT server, we're going to go... We could go new window. We'll keep the microcontroller open, because one of the things I want to do is around the data posting. So maybe we'll get to a point where we're able to post data from a different microcontroller. See how far we get. So, quick 50,000 foot view for anybody who didn't catch any prior work on this particular project. Basically, this is IoT server that runs on a Raspberry Pi. Technically, we can maybe connect to the Pi. No dice. Oh, I might have just changed the stream. We'll be back in a minute. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, this is the output from Raspberry Pi. Seems like it's on one. Oh. Cannot copy paste from this, obviously. Can you like you check if SSH is running? Stream's fine. Oh, I meant the I think I don't know if it came through, I guess, but I think I may have switched the scene for a minute. Like I switched it to being full screen on this without me or the chat or anything for a minute, possibly. This is what I was talking about. But maybe that didn't actually come through on the output. I'm not sure. It did in my OBS though. Oh, that's not good. Speaking of OBS, hopefully we're not crashed. I don't know why it won't let me SSH actually. Oh, hey. Okay. Just gotta try again. See? Obviously. Just gotta try again. Maybe it was asleep or something? Maybe SSH like sleeps and we woke it up by typing? I don't know. Anyway, we're connected. This is a server that runs on here. It's based on Django. It's also using the front end called Tabler. Thank you again to Neardoc, if you're still around, for pointing me over to Tabler. That thing's pretty sweet. What I want to work on today are posting data into the server and then maybe creating the data sources. Right now, the data source that exists in my test server, I just created, I think, an admin. But we'll want a front end to be able to create that as well eventually. I think I'm just going to run it from my PC to start with. Off because technically we have this is the stock way it looks. There is a dark mode of this thing though that you can enable relatively easily as well. But the thing that I did have a second ago was definitely third-party Tabler. This is the thing we're using. We want to well, where's our one page? I have one page with data. This is called Weather Dash, which is definitely not the name that it will keep ultimately, I don't think. Ooh, 404. Maybe we need slash here also. Yeah, there we go. This one shows a line chart with the 10 most recent data points that we have collected. But the way that we're collecting data points, well, currently we're not actually collecting them because it's turned off, but the way that it did collect the ones it has was using this. There's a management command, which is a thing that runs through Django ManagePy. Basically set up cron to run this thing over and over again. It turned into be kind of a pain to get it to run, and really what we want is a way to post data. We want an HTTP endpoint that other clients can post to. As part of that endpoint, I think I want to actually add onto the data source a token because I want each data source to have its own endpoint so that you can post data from multiple sources. And the way that it will keep track which one is which is you will send the token as part of your post. That token is going to be a I want to use this other thing that I've used before. One second, let me look at something. What is the token in this project, which I cannot share, unfortunately, but we're going to implement something similar. Well, we're going to want that. Only going to want that. Could have activated, I suppose, as well. Which is from this. Whoops. Where does this string come from? Oh, that's the function, duh. Yes. The string function. It's not being called though, so it threw me off. Okay. What's this? Let's try it like this. So this is using a thing called Django encrypted fields, first of all, which we need to install because it is not part of Django itself. Django in searchable? I think it's called searchable. Searchable encrypted. You know what? Actually, one second. Hold on. How are we gonna like search for that instead of just looking at what it is? Doesn't really make any sense now, does it? Requirements. Searchable encrypted fields. We will install. There is a newer version. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't at least try the newer version. See if I regret that or not, but this allows you to have a field which is encrypted an extra time, first of all, because the whole database is encrypted. But this is a field that is encrypted an extra time with a separate key, but it also allows you to have another field that allows you to be able to search for your token. So the idea being you generate a secure token, you store it in the database, you give it to the user, you tell the user, hey, whenever you send me a request, include this token with it. When that request comes in, we get the token that came from the user. We search the database to find the one that they sent, if it exists. If it does exist, we make sure they're authenticated. We make sure that they're allowed to do whatever they're doing. And then we allow it to happen, essentially. We will need keys for that. We will Right, this will work different. This is going to be actually data source.objects.filter searchable token. So this is basically just generating a unique one. Most likely this will probably never run more than once, but the idea is we generate a potential token. We check if that token is already in our database or not. Overwhelmingly likely would be that it's not. If for whatever reason it is, we just generate a new one and try again until we find one that's not. Once we have one that's not in the database, we return it. This is what gets set as the default value here. So basically this will cause us to generate this when it gets created. I don't know, I might need to actually look at the other code some more. Let's see, I'm gonna open this back up. We might not need it, but we'll see. I do need to have this filled in though, otherwise we're not gonna get anywhere. Do I still have this copied? No, okay. Search this. Hey. I was right though, it was searchable. Encrypted fields, I was pretty close. Where's the project? Wow, okay, GitLab, interesting. I will it, okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay, we need this. You only need one until rotating keys. Only need one. Oh, okay, you only need one. I see. You can change keys. That's the idea. This is a list. You can actually change keys. Which we need to generate a new one for that as well. Doesn't entirely matter where we put it, I don't think. I guess near secret key is making a decent amount of sense. Obviously not going to use the one we copy pasted from their website. We can run this thing maybe. This would give us a key that we could use to encrypt it. So this is like the extra key that encrypts these fields specifically. Again, the whole database is already encrypted with a different key. This is just these fields, basically. This way we're not storing the API tokens in plain text, if I understand it correctly. We want to go Python. We want to run this, but we can't because we haven't import secrets. Don't use the Python semicolon very frequently. A lot of action on that one. My own self. Obviously, I would not generate this key on a live stream and then use it for a real thing. Obviously, this is going to live on this Raspberry Pi here on my desk only. Probably going to get checked into the repo, which is why I'm not bothering to obscure it now, because you could go back and look at the repo and it's going to be there anyway. But again, obviously the server is not going to get deployed to the internet in its current state. We have a key now. Should have that activated, defaults to false. Eventually we'll check that, and if it's false, then we won't accept data from that data source. If it's true, then we will. Okay. So now we want probably a new URL for posting data. Might not, I don't know if it's like probably not the best to use the HTTP verb as part of that. I also want to make do we want to do that yet? There's a couple of ways we could do it. So we could put the token here. I was generating URL safe tokens. You could also use the token as part of the request body, though. I'm going to try and do everything in the request body. I'm going to try not to put the data variables in the URL, I think. I'm going to try to do it all in the body. We'll see if it works. Maybe I come back and switch it, but post data, so that's going to be views, post data, view, name, post data. What's a... Not assigned a function call. Using parentheses? No, opposite, extra parenthesis. Okay, post data. Go to inside of this, which doesn't exist yet, but we're going to create it. Class. Post request. Get the body. We want to get the body of the request, which I don't recall off the top of my head how to do. Django get body of request. Also, we're going to need to make this CRSF exempt, I'm pretty sure. This is what we want. I'm going to call this data. Request data. So get the body as Unicode, try to load it as JSON, put it inside this. If this part fails, we return an error. I wish I can't use Control-Alt-T, can I? Yeah, it opens this. I need to figure out how to change that. Wish I could use Control-Alt-T. It's supposed to be round with. Except. I don't know what kind of it would be, I guess. Let's run it without first, I guess. Request data, let's just say return JSON. JSON? I don't know if that's right. It looks like it is. That's true. Return that. Save this, rerun. We probably don't need to rerun. I think it restarts itself, but whatever. Failed anyway on this. Models is mad about this. Default. Okay. So this might be a difference between the old version and the new version. It's good to know that if I want to update, I would have to change that. That is the case. Try again. Okay, it succeeded that time. Let's go. Well, we don't. Do we want it in admin? I don't know. Let's. Did it create one for the existing one? I don't know. Yeah, let's put it in admin for now. Eventually, we probably would have it so that it's not. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess it will already be there. It will already be there. Maybe, although I don't know. Maybe it hides it? I don't know. Okay, for one thing, it's not in the database yet, so. No module. Yeah. Add that to settings. What? needs to be before this, I guess. It probably doesn't need to be before all of that, but it needs to be higher up than the one that's trying to use it. Module. I didn't put a comma. Hello, module. And that's weird. It should be seeing it, I think. I don't know. Okay. Oh. Should probably look more about the new version. Such column searchable token. Maybe it doesn't want the encrypted one to be first. But I mean, this says encrypted field name. Surely that would need to be first. Gonna get busy with the looming outdoors. Yep, take it easy, Sea Grover. Hope you have a nice day. No. So this has the encrypted first. Basically what we have. There's, yeah, it does also have a default. It says search field, hash key, get hash key. I mean, I don't really know what that means, honestly. Search column, searchable token. New plan. 5. 1.5 is the one I had. Maybe we'll try this one. This on here. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Probably. I don't know. I do not need to even bother honestly with it, but curious to play with it some more. You get it working? I think it's gonna be broken now though. Hey, why is it read only? Why? Oh, I spammed it. Same error as before. I don't know when that changed, I guess. I don't think it can work with... We're gonna be all broken, honestly. I already kind of regret messing with this way. It's gonna be all broken, honestly. So, I don't know why that fails, for one thing. That's kind of annoying. Well, so much for easily add this field and then make a post and then that stuff, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I probably broke it by migrating in between. But I don't get exactly what's broken. Non-hexadecimal number found in from hex. I gave it the wrong kind of value. Only thing I could think is I gave it the wrong kind of value, I guess. Whatever I typed in, it didn't like. Oh, failed the same way. It's probably all sorts of broken now, honestly, because of the way I migrated in the middle. I don't know why that fails. That's could be any different in here. Maybe it wants a number. Maybe I shouldn't be giving it a string? I mean, it definitely can hold a string, though. I don't know. Why? Oh, failed the same way. Alright, I don't know. I give up for now. Turns out I actually don't have enough oomph to work on this right now. I thought I was interested in doing it, but I don't. I'm not really interested in solving this problem. So I think I'm going to call it for now. I will get back to this later on. I hope everybody does have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your weekend and all that stuff. I will probably be back at some point on Monday, streaming sometime on Monday. I don't know exactly what time. I'll probably pop back on at some point and work on this. It's just not going to be right now. Turns out I want to get up and walk around, do some other stuff. So I'm going to do that. I will catch you all later. Yeah, thanks for watching along. Thanks for hanging out in the chat, and I will see you all later.